In the front room where the piano used to be,
Music
and
room.
Anton used to have concerts in that front room down there. There's a book to sign up to say that you were here. Yeah, yes, so you can check that out at any time. Okay, everybody got a chair that needs one? Yeah, cool. We're here now, yeah.
Sort of.
You're not supposed to have any alcohol, Mick.
That's zero.
Okay.
Somebody should take a photo of me drinking
I
zero.
was just gonna say, yeah. Are you sure? Yeah.
It mixes well with the endine.
Yeah. Great. We're at a beautiful house. Let's go. Hey. Mick Waters. Yeah. Mick Waters. Mick Waters was a pioneer in a vanguard of change. I know. He was right out there, you know. Now, of course, Mick would be the first to say to me, "Klein, you're such a wanker." But I know it's true. He was out there at a time.
Wanker?
I don't know. Ask my wife. No. No. At a time of great change in our world, Mick was one of the ones who was out there dealing with the most important questions, not the least of which is, what does it mean to be a man? That was at a time, I know, that was at a time when so much change was happening, right? And I mean, women were like out of control. And men just, sitting back, thinking about it, and, thinking and being as quiet as possible. And there was Mick. Right? And he was dealing with all these things about manhood. We talked a lot over the years. One of the little things he talked about was work. He believed in work, you know what I mean? And he thought work was not identity. It was just life. He loved working. He made lots of stuff. He made houses. He made music. He loved his family. He was just, and he said, we talked one time, he said, there's a difference between pride and ego. You got to have pride. You got to keep your standards up because it's for other people. But ego, I remember he said one time in a group of us, he said, ego is the curse of manhood. He could tell the difference. Yeah, but when I'm thinking about Mick, he loved that work thing, but you know what he really cared about? He cared about love. Sorry. I'm supposed to be a pro. He cared about love and devotion. He was a lover. We know Mick, he was a lover. He loved his life, got a little bit raggedy at the end, but he loved his life. He loved it. He loved his family. He loved his friends. He loved making music. He loved making weird houses. He loved making giant ships in little tiny bottles. He loved everything. He loved life. But I remember talking with him. The foundation, the very foundation of love for him was devotion.
Hang in there.
Everybody here knows what I mean when I say that Mick was devoted to Pat. Yeah. We had some talks about it over the years. It was true. He was devoted to his family. He was devoted to his community, devoted to his craft, devoted to his music. He was devoted to Pat. Yeah, I remember we would have some conversations along with a few little ones when he was down here. Our respective brides were off doing some art crap, and I would stop by to say hello, and we would have a conversation. Right? Now, we both had pretty tough broads, so we had plenty about which to commiserate. We always had some laughs. I mean, Mick just loved life, you know, and he loved food and drink, and drink, and drink, and food. What a life, huh? I remember going down for this conversation one time, having a few drinks, and we were talking. The subject, this one time I remember in particular, the subject of love and devotion came up. And we were talking, and he said something like, love is easy. In fact, usually, you don't even get to choose it.
Yep.
But devotion was different. Love is something that happens to you, but devotion is something you happen to it. And that's, for Mick, what being a man meant. He was that way, you know. Yeah, he was devoted to Pat. They were so together, hey? What a great man. I mean, they weren't the same. I mean, Pat was like a huge intellectual.
Yeah.
And Mick was kind of a quiet thinker. Pat was furious about the state of the world. And Mick, he was more just, you know, utterly disappointed. You know how he'd shake his head. Yeah. I remember coming away from those conversations knowing very clearly that for Mick, love and devotion was what put the twinkle in his eye.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. Going all right.
He was a good man. He was a real man. Vale.
Well done, Colin.
Now, so sorry about that. So let's see.
You spilled as much tears as you did wine before.
Yeah. This is water. Just like yours is, right? Yeah. Over the years, Wylva. Now, it was my first night in Briagolong. I met the Gang of Four. You know who that is, right? That's Pat and Mick and Anton and Wylva. Right? Yeah, and Wylva's the doyen. Yeah, sort of like the Madame Mao of Briagolong. we've had so many wonderful times in this house, the concerts and everything. That you've shared your house with us. Yeah. And now I wonder if you would like to share with us your feelings about Mick.
I would. Thank you.
Microphone down.
Yes. Sorry. You know, Randy Newman has a great song. It's called Short People. Yeah. And one of the lyrics is, short people got no reason to live.
Well, so excuse me. How can I follow that? Hello, everyone. And thanks for coming. You're all such friendly faces. Firstly, I'd like to say a heartfelt thanks to Louisa for enabling, with a little help, our mate Mick to stay, I'm going to cry in a minute, to stay in his beloved home until one day before his death. And that wasn't easy. I've known Mick for 58 years. And by golly, I'll miss him. I see several loving streams in this man's life, like you just said. Luckily, all very happy streams. Family above all else, his life revolved around the kids and Patty. I say Patty because she's my little sister. This involved lots of spag bowl and cook-ups, as one of his talents was as a cook, which we all benefited from. The building. Oh, the building. It was really never-ending. We counted 2 complete houses, 3 temporary shacks while building the houses, plus 2 renos, all to keep a roof over the family. And then music. One of Mick's loves was his guitar, playing with mates in Melbourne and later becoming a founding member of the Briagolong Bush Band, which played successfully and still does. Lots of fun and gigs, and as a plus helped the family financially. His undaunted support of Patty and her artwork was just fabulous. I have to say it. He was with her, supporting her teaching career by providing all the home comforts to come home. He was the home person. She came home to cook dinners and fires burning and the children cared for. And glasses of wine and bottles popping as she walked in the door. If you remember the art tours to Europe, I don't know how many they took, a bloody lot, but they needed Mick for all organisational duties. He did all the planning and tickets and goodness knows what. So Patty was free to provide the workshops, and that was very successful. They did it for years. Plus, both founding members of the Briagolong Art Gallery, and so much more. And I admire him, and he had a wonderful life. And our mate Mick, I will miss him.
Here, I'm not touching your tits.
The microphone's on.
Yeah. One of the great things. Oh, thank you, Wylva. Yeah. One of the great things over the years, coming to Pat and Mick's and sitting around talking politics. Oh. And one of the great comrades in arms in terms of talking politics is with us here today. Come on up, Mick.
He can't come up. Lower the thing.
You have to lower it.
Down to him.
How do I follow you two guys? Well, I figured out. How long did you know Mick?
58 years.
Well, I could only do 47. But and I could talk for probably about a year and that, but I'll keep it brief.
Yeah.
Okay. In 1979, my wife Rhonda and I decided to embark on our tree change. Refugees from Melbourne, you know. A lot of other people were doing that at the time too. We moved to the Briagolong, which was had a population then only about a fifth of what it's got today. It was only a little community. We settled up in the jungle up in Taylor's Gully. And one day John Woolard suggested that we visit the folk up Paddy Melon Gully, the so-called Gang of Four. Just added that in late, mate. Yeah. So we met Mick Waters for the first time, along with Pat and Anton and Wylva. And it was the start of a lifelong, valuable, cherished friendship. What were they doing when we got up there? They were making bloody mud bricks. And I'd never seen a bloody mud brick. And all I could think of is, this what I've got myself into, coming down here, making those damn things. Anyway, we gradually got used to the idea, and over the next few years we made thousands of the damn things. And we mixed and poured I don't know how many metres of concrete. You know, our owner Builders Association had working bees where everybody chipped in, had a fabulous day. We worked hard and we partied hard after it. And after every one of those working bees, who would serenade us with his guitar was one Mick Waters. And occasionally we had blow-ins like Anton Thiessen and Bock and all there as well, but I don't recall Bock working very hard at working days. What do you reckon, Will? Anyway, yeah, they were great days. They were our formative days in this era, and we established all our new networks, both with the locals and with each other. We all became known to the locals as the Ferals. But most of them were all right, and we got on all right, didn't we, Will?
Of course we did.
Yeah. Now, we all know Mick had his own little foibles, his own little eccentricities and all. You know, I'll just try and recount a couple to you. One would have been 1981 or 2, because it was their housewarming at Paddy Melon Gully. And I didn't get there early. I got there late because it was the day of the the then VFL Grand Final. And being a Carlton supporter, we won the bloody flag. And I thought,
Last time.
hey, I've had a couple since then. That was 81, we beat Collingwood, and 82 we beat Richmond. And I'm not sure which year it was, but it was one of them. Anyway, so I go up to bloody Paddy. I've been in the pub watching the footy, and I got up there, I was full of piss. And I got up there joyfully celebrating the flag, and I said to Mick, mate, we won the flag, the Mighty Blues won the flag. And he said, who cares? And I looked around and nobody bloody cared. Nobody gave a rat's. That was pretty funny, the housewarming. And of course, Will, who could ever forget the Bulls Cruiser? Oh, there was Dave Coate and his sister and her partner and Joe and all our kids and the Gang of Four and all the rest of it. We were parked down at Ocean Grange for the night, pulled up into the bank there, and the wind came up. And Mick Waters has had quite a liberal amount of wine, and the winds come up. We said, Mick, we got to bloody shift the anchor and shift the chains and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I'm going to bed. Worst thing he could have said, because Anton and Dave and myself set about redoing all the anchoring and the chains and all, and we made every single piece of metal smashed and dragged and across the top of the cabin where Mick was getting his precious sleep. And my Christ, did he give us a buggery over that, but, you know, bloody funny. Oh, here's another one for you, Will. Do you remember Shea Paddy?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, how could you ever forget it? You know? For those that weren't there, didn't have the good fortune to be there, Mick and Pat's place up at Paddy Melon Gully was transformed into a French restaurant. The bill of fare was pure French.
Yep.
Meat pies, peas and mashed spud, and the dessert was ice cream and jelly.
With hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, with hundreds of thousands. Yeah, how could I forget that? Anyway,
What about
we're all
the beer and the soup?
Probably.
we're all enjoying this fabulous French cuisine when one of our then great friends, Carolyn Austin, flicked a pea at somebody,
Okay, bring it back.
and somebody flicked a pea back at her.
Oh,
And then a couple more peas got flung. And next thing you know, there's shit flying everywhere. Do you remember the food fight, Will? How could you ever forget it? Yeah. And I looked over in the kitchen and Mick and Pat were standing over there. Their faces were about the colour of that fence, you know, watching all this stuff flying. You know. And I spoke to Mick maybe a week or two later and I said, have you recovered? He said, barely. The clean-up. I mean, it was just a classic, like, Hollywood movie food fight. It was unbelievable. What else we got here? Oh, righto, another good one. We did a lot of building together.
Yeah.
You know, we had our own Builders Association. As I said, we made thousands of bricks, mixed on site. I don't know how many. The baker's place, we mixed 34 metres of cement, concrete,
for their
in one
foundations,
morning
yeah, I
for
know.
their whole entire big house foundations, yeah. And after that, of course, the guitar came out and all the rest of it, yeah. So we did a lot of that kind of stuff, and it came to myself and George Clark came down, and we with Hursty, and we're trying to dig the footings for the house over here. And the Briag spuds, which are about that's big, are falling in every time we're trying to get. And the trenches end up about this wide because the Briag spuds keep coming in and all. And anyway, we got over that, and the slab got done. And you know, there was various little working bees along the way, support. But the one that brings the most to mind me was myself and George putting up all the timber for the roofing, not the rafters, the panelling. Yeah, it was a timber ceiling.
Yeah.
And it was made out of old farmers' packs of floorboards from over at from the mill over at Hayfield. And anyway, so it was a warm day, and me and George are up there working hard, you know, getting all those tongue and grooves in and backing them down and cramping them up and all the rest of it. And we were using these bright, shiny, like 4-inch nails. And in the heat, if you know anything about, your hands end up absolutely black from off the shiny nails. Anyway, we got the job done and we're sitting inside saying, look, a roof above us, Mick, fantastic, you know. We looked up and every single floorboard had fingerprints on it, black fingerprints.
They're still over there.
They're still there to this day.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can't get
Every
'em.
single board. Where we gripped them and pulled them in and tapped them in, and then got a nail in them.
You can't get up
There is just fingerprints, black fingerprints on every bloody board. I thought Mick was going to have an apoplexy. I really did. He was so pissed off. He was on the edge of saying, let's tear it all off. He was so upset
Now
about it.
it's a feature.
It's a feature. It's become it morphed into a feature. Another famous Mick story. Who could ever forget the snake in the bathroom? Yeah. I remember.
Oh, Danny was going to tell that one.
Oh, is he? All right. Well, I'll hold that one for you, Danny. Wherever you are.
Probably three variations of it.
No. All I'm going to say is, you can tell the story, but I'm going to say, what could possibly go wrong? And I'll leave the rest to you, Danny. Now, the last time I saw Mick, my old mate Mick, my dear friend, was probably about 2 weeks before he died. And I got a phone call from Poppet saying he's had a fall, and it was 10:30 in the evening. And so I jumped in the car and went around, and there he is on the floor, and he's on a mat, and they got a pillar under him and a blanket over him, and and they called the ambulance, and the ambulance was going to be 5 hours. Likely 5 hours. So, and Mick saying, I just want to get up. I just want to get up and get to my bed. And I said, well, you've had a fall, Mick. It might be
Broken something.
oh, you might have broken. So I haven't broken anything. He said, I haven't broken anything. Yeah. I said, well, let's make sure you're at least comfortable for a little while and then we'll talk about it, you know. And I said to him, are you comfortable, Mick? And he said, I make a living. So in other words, he hadn't lost some of that at that stage. He was still the old Mick lurking in there, and he was gone shortly thereafter. Anyway, I'm just going to share those few memories with you. And,
Thank you. Thank you.
I could probably talk for about a year, but I won't.
Thank you.
And I'll leave the steak to Danny.
Good one.
Thanks, mate. Now I'm going to... Oh, no, I'll stay here.
You all right?
Don't
You
move.
want to get up?
No, I'm right.
Wave at me if you want to get up.
Okay, just...
It's going to be embellished.
Made do anything.
You all right? Can I just grab it?
Yeah. The last time I saw Mick, he was in that home over there. What was that? Yeah.
Oh, God.
I go, so how you going? He goes, this place is shit.
And it was.
Okay, now, of course, I'm going to have Danny come up here and talk about his old man.
So I didn't know what to talk about really because there's just so much. That's my alarm.
Wake up.
Let's more go to bed.
Closer?
Okay. So I just sort of thought of a few stories, and the snake being one story. And I one of the things, my wife Tale over there also lost her father 7 days prior or 8 days prior to Dad, so we've had a bit on our plate, and it was really some of the nice parts of that, as demanding as it can be, is to just reminisce about some of those stories that we had, that we knew of, either we lived with or we'd heard about. And Klein, thanks for talking about Dad that way, and he was a man, a real man, in terms of not having an ego, and being so supportive and fantastic around his family, and unwavering in that. We also talked about, these guys are adventurers. They were trailblazers. They came to Briagolong. They were one of the first to build their mud brick house. So this movement sort of started to come with Wylva and Anton as well. We don't do that anymore these days. We don't just get up and move into the bush and do that. Whether it's a society thing or it's just harder to do now, or the dynamics are different. But the bravery and the courage involved in doing that was, really hit home. So he was a romantic that way. He loved adventure. He was a romantic. He had courage, and he was all about love. And there was no regrets with that. So the stories I thought of, and I'll just go through. I won't get through all of these stories because I thought I'll just pick one when I get up there. Chris has set one up nicely for us. I'll read the story titles out to you just to give you a bit of an insight. One's the red belly black snake and the washing machine. The other one may not sound that intriguing, but you should be intrigued, which is called Eggs for Breakfast for Mum. And the other one was his support for me as a footballer, local footballer, which was a huge part of my life too. But also I wanted to mention, Gary pointed out the photo on the wall where I'm playing spoons with Fairport Convention. Now,
That's who it was, yeah.
I didn't inherit his talent, his musical talent, but it didn't stop me from wanting to perform. So I picked up a pair of spoons And from that point on, Dad literally got me my first job with the Briag Bush Band, because I used to tour with them and play the spoons, and then other bands, they'd be supporting Fairport Convention and they'd ask me to play. So that was a lovely part of my my childhood memories. Going back to the red belly black snake, I won't leave you in suspense too much longer, but Dad was one to have an afternoon nap, and after a few nights of hearing a few bangs and crashes and rattles behind the wardrobe in their bedroom up at Paddy Mellon Gully, they were thinking, oh God, I hope, what could this be? And they sort of suspected a couple of things, and then Dad was having one of his afternoon naps, and their bed's always been quite low, and he rolled over and looked down the edge of the bed, and there's a massive long red belly black snake, probably about that far away from his nose. So he sort of carefully retreated back over to the other side of the bed and made his way out, and I think went for a shovel or something that he could use to probably have to, being that close to the family, you couldn't really do anything but remove it. And he came back, but as he came back, the snake had slithered its way from the bedroom into the laundry and under the washing machine. And Dingo Reed was we all know, is the snake expert of Briag, so he rang Dingo because he said, I don't want to make it angry, it'll come out at me if I move things around, or it'll, I don't want to, I can't have it in the house, obviously. So Dingo suggested a stakeout. So the next day, Dad. So the noise from the cupboard was the snake chasing mice, and then it sought retreat in the laundry. But we got to the next day, and Dad sent me and Mum off to a school and work, and set up an elaborate chair and his rifle. It was 22 there on it, and he's. Said it was 11 o'clock in the morning, knows nothing, and it got to, 1 o'clock, and he's going, oh, I'll just have one glass of wine. You know where this is going? So I think it was about 4 o'clock when the snake finally came out. So you can imagine there was a full cast there. It was getting pretty empty by that stage. And the snake started to show its head, and he waited for it to come out, and he was a bad shot at best anyway, and he never fixed the scopes properly, so he didn't do himself any favours. So he shot, and of course the snake just sort of started to move back under the thing, and he said, I better keep going, and get bang, fired off the whole magazine. There's concrete chips flying off the floor. There's a hole in the washing machine. It's completely gone pear-shaped. And the funny thing is, Chris, I don't actually remember how we ended up getting rid of the snake. That wasn't even, the story was enough. I think the snake's still there, probably.
It was quite safe there.
Another quick one was eggs for breakfast, and it was we had chooks and all of that sort of stuff, and Mum went in to get the eggs one day, and this massive goanna stood up on its back hind legs and hissed at her, and they'd been losing chooks and eggs and everything, and so again, this involves Dad's 22 and his bad shooting, but he went up there and it scared the hell out of Mum, and it was eating the chook, so ran up a tree next to the chook pen. It was about, I don't know, halfway up a gum tree, and and he did shoot it down, and he didn't want to, he didn't like shooting animals, but he thought, I won't waste, I'll try and skin it and do something with the skin. And I don't know what he had planned, but he used to make stuff out of leather and stuff, so maybe he thought he was going to make a belt or something, but he got it down, so he started cutting up this goanna, and he opened up the stomach, and there was 2 whole chickens in the stomach and 3 whole eggs, and he's gone,
Oh, he didn't.
he had enough sense about him. He thought that the acids in Joanna's stomachs aren't that safe, so he resisted the urge to use those eggs for Mum's breakfast. But that was
No roast chook for dinner.
no, we disposed of all of that, I think. So I'll be quick. But the one thing I had with Dad was he wasn't a sporty guy growing up. Although he did like he was a good diver and swimmer, and he was an ice skater. And I was sort of thinking, I thought a little about it last night. So he sort of liked sports where he could like that, or like that. He liked the pose. He liked the romantic in him, maybe, I don't know. But he did have some sort of talent in those areas. But he didn't care about Carlton, let alone footy. So. But then I started developing interest in footy and cricket, and he was my number one fan. He did not miss a game. He would be the dad that was taking all the other kids to the games every week and bringing them home, and he'd count my stats when I was on the footy field. He'd give me my stats after the game, and he'd give me a Mars bar at half time. He was just absolutely dedicated to following wherever I went, and that was Latrobe. I was all over the joint. He had to drive, and he wasn't an interfering father. He didn't sort of get involved in the club or get upset with the coach for not playing me or something. He wasn't like that. It was all just you just get what you're given and do your best and all that sort of stuff. And but I used to get targeted a lot, and there was I won't mention the footy team, but it was Newry actually, and they used to bash me up. They were a bunch of thugs over there, and they bashed me up. And I used to kick the goals. So I'd usually kick 6 goals against them every time we played, but they were all from free kicks from getting whacked in the back of the head. And Dad could see I was wearing thin with it a little bit, and I didn't really. I just got the free kick, got up and kicked the goal, and that happened. I got bashed in the back of the head. I got up and kicked the goal, and I'm walking back to the goal square, and I've looked over, and there's this particular guy whose name also happened to be Dan. There's Dan looking down at someone, okay, and there's my dad going, "Yeah, I don't know what he was saying, but I've got a video and I'm taping you and you're..." I've gone, "Get off the bloody ground." And I said to Dan, "Don't you hit him, mate. He's got a dodgy heart," and Dan just laughed, and it was just a joke. But I never lived it down. I was all like, after that, "Where's your dad, Dan? Where's your dad? Where's your dad coming out?" So, but that was his only real indiscretion, I think. Apart from that, he was a fabulous support for me in sport, and I really, really appreciate everything he did for me through that time. Then I just wanted to now, Tato's going to read something from the kids, but I did want to just throw in that when we moved back here and we had Tomasi and Lysani here, the influence and the impact and the love that our kids got from both Mum and Dad was something that's so special for all of us. And we had the luxury of dropping Tomasi off and going off to work, and they would Tomasi would run in the door, and he'd come on their shopping day, and they'd take him into sale, and Tomasi would be on the shopping trolley, and everyone would be looking, and they'd be so proud, and he'd be grabbing whatever he wanted off the shelves and chucking him in the trolley, getting spoiled rotten with chocolate. And Lysani was born here, but we moved down to Melbourne pretty quickly. But you'll hear more about some of the memories for Lysani as well. But there's some wonderful photos of those 2 kids up on the patio there, and playing in the pond and feeding the parrots and climbing all over both Nana and Mick, as I would call them. So I'll come to an end there. I just want to sort of recap and just talk about Dad as the maker, the lover, he would always stand up in a crisis. You know, he's one of those guys. You know, they have the fight flight thing. He was the fight. He would stop and go, right, something's going down here, and he would have the way to fix it. He would jump in and grab that and do this, and all of a sudden the crisis would be taken care of. So that was one thing that I'd like to think I inherited from him. I also do see him a little bit in the mirror every day, so that'll live on with me. And thank you. And I inherited his follically challenged head there, but and I also inherited his daggy dad jokes, which drives the kids and wife crazy sometimes. But I'm quite proud that I got that, and some people find it funny as well. So that's been. I think that's it for me. Thank you for coming today. I just wanted to mention Louisa and the work that the caring stuff that she's been doing for so long now, both from even when Mum was around, she was taking on those responsibilities, and I really appreciate how much she did, and I was only really be able to see that in its entirety over the last couple of months when I was coming down to give her a bit of relief every couple of weeks, and the care and dedication and support that Louisa had kept him at home right till the end, and he he wanted to be at home right till the end, and she got him there. So thanks for that, Louisa. I think that'll do. I probably forgot a few things, but come and see me after if you like.
Well done, Dan.
The younger generation. Did you notice? For all the old people, everything they have to say is on a piece of paper.
Yes.
Right? But now they're scrolling up and down this and that. Yeah, right. Of course, now here we go.
I've got my device. Oh, my turn. Click me up.
Click on.
Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Okay. So I'll just start with some memories of my dad. Some perhaps a bit universal, like sitting on his lap and driving the car, or standing on his feet and learning to waltz. Some unique to us, like him serenading me with some of my favourite child-friendly folk songs, like The Fox Went Out on a Chilly Night, or The Frog Went A-Courting, who became a horny toad. Or like racing home from kinder class together quickly to watch Rockford Files, or after primary school doing our chores really quickly so we could watch MASH or Dad's Army. He was always there to drop me off, pick me up, and I was privileged to never have to doubt this. I think Dad was the first stay-at-home dad in our district, and this was before the toil of domestic life had been recognised as equal in its measure. And Dad's stoicism would survive the barbs he sometimes met at the Briagolong pub. He knew he was doing meaningful work, and so did we. The house was always immaculate. There was always beautiful food on the table. Slow-cooked lamb at shanks, souvlaki's, tacos, roasts, pizza, where he'd make the dough himself and flip it up in the air like a pro. And when we had friends over, it was always a massive spaghetti bolognese. And one of his favourite tricks was to put all of the bolognese on our big presenting platter, which is about 80 centimetres wide, put it down in front of a kid if it was their first time staying with us, and say, "Now that one's yours, and you're not allowed to leave the table until it's all gone." Their eyes would bulge and we'd laugh. In the high school years, these pastas became a prerequisite on a Friday night before Danny's footy match, so he had a good dose of nourishing carbs to get him through the day. And then, these things are not good. Sorry. Yeah.
Did you run out of paper?
Oh dear. For me, the spaghetti bolognese would feed usually a large group of girls and line our stomachs before we all drank those couple of bottles of vodka that we had lined up for the evening. Fortunately, Dad's breakfast banquet with scrambled eggs, bacon, fried tomatoes and sausages the following day would always help mop up our post-party guilt, so he was good. Very accommodating. He provided us with incredible security, not only with the food, but in the homes that he built for us to live in, and his unwavering support of our pursuits. He had his own too, obviously the music, lesser known the model ships, or his ceramics with a twist, caricatures of politicians and lewd garden gnomes such as Flasher Gnome and the saucy Gnomeo and Juliet, and even Bat Gnome and Robin. He tried his hand at many things, and he was always capable of anything he tried, really. And I think he instilled that sense of certainty in one's own skills in both Danny and I. Gave us that kind of faith that, if we don't know how to do it, we can work it out. He was a good dad in every sense. When Danny and I were grown enough, he found his niche setting up a business as a picture framer. Again, he really was demonstrating his support for his family, filled with artists. But that support then extended onto the rest of the arts community. He did mates rates for pretty much everyone. Then running an art school with Mum, he flourished touring people through the streets of Europe, guiding them down Parisian alleyways to bohemian cafes where he would boast they were once frequented by people like Hemingway or Gertrude Stein. These years of running the school with Mum and then in their retirement was so rich and full of joy. When I was going through the photos, and please go out the back and have a look at all the photos out there, there's different phases of their lives. There wasn't as many of Dad, because he was often the one behind the camera, capturing the moment and celebrating his family and wanting to record that memory. But the ones that I did find of him, so many were next to Mum, and their faces are just full of big beaming smiles, warmth, and you could see that there was always so much love in the room. When Mum died, I assumed he wouldn't last long. I thought he's going to go in a couple of weeks because they were so intrinsic to each other. But he did continue and he endured his grief. I think I might have put a bit of pressure on. I said, "Can't you lose your both so quickly?" But the three of us made a happy little posy, Wylva, Dad and I, up here on the hill. We get together 3 nights a week. And had what we called the Drop Your Bundle Club. And as a certain phase of life became apparent for someone, we start calling it a perimenopausal Drop Your Bundle Club. We would sit in the TV room, drink wine, and watch Dad's favourite quiz show. And it was kind of a loud affair. We'd all be yelling at the TV the answers. Sometimes he was yelling at us for talking too loudly over the show. And then we'd retire to the dining table and report on our days and talk about all the things you're not supposed to, such as politics and religion and so on. These were happy times, despite the sad absence of Anton and Mum. Dad and I grew very close over the last few years. We became each other's confidants. And as his health declines and his care needs increased, we really didn't have any secrets at the end. It was an honour to see Dad go through his dying. He handled it all with incredible integrity and humour. He was completely candid with us regarding his death, which he knew wouldn't be far away. He said, I've had the best life, filled with so much music, travel, you kids, Atazi and Lysani. I have no regrets and I want for nothing. He didn't have a bucket list, he'd done it all. As Dad's health started to wane further, he'd have bad days where I think he believed the end was kind of imminent. And rather than saying, I've had a good life to me, he started saying to me, you know, I've had a really good day today. And I knew the subtext was, if I die tonight, know that I'm happy. Yeah. His sense of humour was sometimes incorrigible. We'd be sitting in the emergency room, Dad with a hematoma on his head the size of an emu egg, blood pouring down, and he'd be cracking jokes in there, like making the whole emergency room crack up and laughing. And I'd be like, Dad, stop, they're not going to think you're seriously injured. And Trey's nurse would be like, no, it's okay, we can see. One day, well, probably only a week before he died, he had a bad day, and he thought it might have happened that day. And I said, well, should we ring Danny? And after a little while, he said, oh, you better. And so we rang Danny. We had him on speakerphone. Danny and I both crying, and Dad's being his usual stoic self. Anyway, we hung up the phone. Danny said goodbye. You've been a great dad. All of that, and with tears. Anyway, he looked at me and he said, geez, I hope I don't disappoint everyone now and keep living. It was a pretty fast decline, and so for those of you who don't know, in January, Dad was a lesion on his lungs was spotted, and by late February, we had a diagnosis that it was a primary cancer, 5 centimetres in diameter and wrapping around his heart. So it was too late for us to, do anything about it. And as Dad said at the time, fuck. Okay, I have some really important thank yous. Most significantly, the amazing team of carers who helped sustain Dad's life at home. Jen, Beck, Alice, Lisa, Jeff, Tanya, who's here, who was going to say some words, but she's chickened out. That's okay. Maddie, Christy, Judge. The amount of respect and integrity and compassion and care that they gave Dad and allowed, him to stay home for as long as he did. I can never thank you all enough. And the wonderful team at Johnson Street Clinic, Karen and Alicia Cat and Dr. Emma. Dad adored them all. And so many friends too who gave unwavering support for the food, the flowers and the 5 o'clock drinks and just general counsel. Thank you to Sky, John, Jill, Klein, Susan, Sally, Vicky, Annie, Chris, Rhonda, Laurie, Liz, Deb Cole, Gary and Maria. I don't know, there's heaps more of the broader community down at, even the lovely people at the Briagolong shop. Dad, it'd be a highlight of his day when he was still going down, and Kirby would come out from behind the jump and give him a hug. So lovely. That sense of community really sustained him. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, Wylva and brother, who helped me, and I'm so grateful for the support you gave me. Sometimes I'd be very tired, and Wylva would come over and say, "I'm staying here tonight." As the news of Dad's death travelled, pretty much everyone I spoke to, even the most atheist of atheists, who claim that when you die, you just die, that's it, nothing happens. But they would all say, he's with Pat now.
Yes.
So I've brought their ashes over there in the end room, in the music room. So if they can't be together in spirit, they certainly are in ash. Thank you everyone for being here. It's really good to see so many faces.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
Well done, Louisa. Beautiful.
Now, I was just reminded of this kind of. One time, Mick said to me, we were talking about the difference between support and devotion. And he said to me, support is like when you say to somebody, I'm going to support you because you need help. And he said, devotion is different. Yeah. Now, Tale, please.
Oh, it's fancy. Yep. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. Yep. I'm just going to read a couple of letters from our kids, Tomasi and Lysani. The first one's from Lysa, and they were written to Mick, and he got to hear the letters down. Well, they read them to Mick? I read them to him. Yeah. Dear Mick, hi Mick, I hope you're doing well. I hope you know how much I miss you. You're such an important presence in my life. You've also been a big impact on me and Tomasi's life. I remember back when I was really little and seeing you frame artwork so cautiously. You obviously cared enough about it to have such a carefulness about it. To watch you be so sincere about something that is so little to others inspires me. It showed me the little things in life matter. I never realised it until now. I've been trying to be more grateful for the little things. I also remember all the times I'd want to play with the loose skin on your arms and pulling at your flabby arms. Such an odd memory. I always remember that and attaching it to my core memories. I hope you know how important you are to me. Love you, Lysani. And this one's from Tomasi. Dear Mick, I wanted to write this letter just to catch up on you. I know that times have been tough lately, but I also know you've been sticking through it. Even though you've been going through a rough time, not only me, but Dad, Mum, Lysa, Louisa, Wylva and others are still and always will be here for your support. You have not only been an amazing grandfather, but a great role model too. You have taught me throughout my life and shown me nothing but love and care. The love you have given me over the years has only given me happiness, just like those times when you and I would always have a bar of chocolate ready for me whenever I came to your place. They did, yeah. You have always spoilt me rotten. The memories of me and Nana that I have will always be close to my heart. I love you so much, Mick, and I just want to say thank you for being the best grandpa in the world. Love, Tomasi.
Oh, kids. Thank you, Tale. Thanks, Tale. Yeah, there we go, hey. Now, I think it's really appropriate, of course, that we turn to one of Mick's great loves. Music. And Gary Rose, a champion of our culture in Briagolong, is going to play some music for us.
And some others.
Oh, yeah. Gary will introduce everybody. Yeah.
Yep. I just want to say that Mick, being a founding member of the band, was a great influence on me, and his image and his stage presence was, I learned a lot from, and their nights down at the pub, and he's doing a Finnegan's Wake and things like that. We just had a ball always, and I'll always remember him.